Hi, it's Kelly Shepard. I'm coming to you from Breathe Easy Wheezy at YouTube. You can also find me at Breathe Easy Wheezy on Instagram, breatheasywheezy.com, my website. And you can also find me on Facebook at Breathe Easy Wheezy or Kelly Shepard. Either way. Lots of ways to find me, connect, especially if you have lung disease, you want to learn more about that, or you need a health coach that maybe specializes in lungs, cardiopulmonary, heart and lungs. That's my bag. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the three major obstructions. So those of us with lung disease, we tend to deal with three major obstructions. So one of them is bronchospasm or bronchoconstriction. So bronchospasm, bronchoconstriction, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably. That's where the smooth muscle on the outside of the airway is closing down. So that smooth muscle, the best way I've heard it described is like if you imagine your airway like the length of a garden hose, only somebody has wrapped that in fishing line and they're pulling really tight on the fishing line. So it's closing the airway from the outside. So that's bronchospasm or bronchoconstriction. And for bronchospasm or bronchoconstriction, we would use a bronchodilator. So for airway closure, we would use an airway opener. If you watched my anatomy and physiology, I said I do want you to understand main stem bronchus and bronchiole because that is Latin for airway. And we will be talking about bronchodilators, airway openers. So I feel like that's an important term to know. You don't have to know all the Latin. I don't. So anyway, bronchospasm. Now another obstruction, and you can see I'm going to hold my airway like this. This guy over here is having a hard time breathing, and you can see the diameter of the hole, muy small, very small, muy pequeño. And over here, this guy is breathing great. Look at the size of that airway. It's nice, it's big, it's open. Exactly what we want in our airways, especially those of us that have suffocated. So another major airway obstruction is mucus. What? I said it. Mucus. So mucus, this represents a mucus plug. I'm going to go with the plug because how hard it is. Anyway, let's say I encounter something that irritates me like every day. No, let's say it's something like I go over to my friend Sally Sue. She invites me over for a tea party. I think, yay, I'm gonna have little finger sandwiches and cups of tea. This is gonna be awesome. And Sally Sue doesn't tell me that she has 13 cats, and I'm allergic to cats. So I show up at Sally Sue's wanting to eat and drink and be merry, and then the cats come. What's gonna happen to me immediately, because I'm an asthmatic, and so my lungs are very reactive. They react to everything. Everything that irritates them, they react. So for me, what's going to happen is when I encounter her cats, my airways, I'm going to have bronchospasm almost immediately. That smooth muscle is going to start closing down my airways. So I might feel really tight in my chest. It might feel hard to get a good deep breath in, or I might be coughing, I might be wheezing, I might be doing all of the above. I might be moving so little air that I can't cough or wheeze. That's happened. That's a bad place to be in. So bronchospasm will happen immediately. So if I have it, which I am a purse girl, so I will always have my pocketbook on me. I will reach inside my pocketbook and I will pull out my rescue inhaler. And I will use that right then and there at Sally Sue's house. And for me, it works almost immediately. So my airways relax. I start breathing. I can get in a cup of tea and at least a sandwich, maybe 5 if I'm on prednisone. You never know. So anyway, bronchospasm, smooth muscle, closing your airway from the outside. The rescue inhaler helps with that. So that happens immediately. But what else happens is because I'm allergic to her cats, my lungs are busy secreting mucus. because they don't know. All they know is something's irritating them. So there could be particulate matter in the air, could be cat dander in the air, and my lungs don't want it inside of the lung system. So it starts secreting a bunch of mucus to capture any of that dander so that I'll cough it up and out later. So mucus takes up space on the inside of my airway. So mucus is an obstruction. So we got bronchospasm or bronchoconstriction and mucus. And the last thing that's going to happen is, because I'm allergic to her cats, what's going to happen is inside of my airway, I've got fancy little cells. We don't have to memorize the names of all of them, okay? I'm going to throw a couple out there. We're going to have some leukotriene cells and some mast cells, and those guys, because I'm allergic to it, they break open and they release histamine. Histamine, what that does is it makes my airway swell shut from the inside. What? Yes, from the inside. And here's the weird part. It happens really slowly over the next 4 to 6 hours. So I know Sally Sue has 13 cats, right? I'm going to take that cup of tea, I'm going to eat those sandwiches, and then I'm going to make up some excuse like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm eating Trevor from Plenty of Fish, or whatever it is, and I gotta go. I got somewhere to be. So I'm out of there because I know cats and I don't do well, and it's just a matter of time before my eyes swell shut and I can't breathe up here, and I'm just miserable and swollen and red and itchy. So I get out of there. I go back home. Yes, I don't go meet him. I go home and I decide to retreat to my own personal oasis, and I read a book. I make my own cup of tea. I drink that. I relax. Maybe I do a little housework. Maybe I do some cooking or cleaning. Over the next 4 to 6 hours, my airway is swelling shut from the inside because of that histamine response. So now I'm having a hard time breathing. I'm at home. Sally Sue was 4 hours ago. She was 5 hours ago. She was 6 hours ago. Do I put my shortness of breath with Sally Sue and all her cats? No, I don't. But that's what's going on. And that's a real slow inflammation process. So it takes a long time to swell shut. So it's going to take a long time to reverse it as well. And we know what those reversal agents are. Those are our inhaled corticosteroids. And those are also our oral steroids like prednisone, prednisolone, methylprednisolone, and our IV steroids. So, sorry, my wiener dog just came in here. It sounds like he's got an obstruction in this airway. Let me check on my dog. Anyway, get a hold of me, Breathe Easy Wheezy, at Gmail, or any of the other venues that I've thrown out, okay?